Alright, so we're going to set up our example chat project structure. We're just going to create a folder called chat. We're going to create a folder inside of that, src for our source code inside of chat. We're going to create a folder for messages, and inside of that we'll create a folder for interpreters. I think I spelled that right. Okay, so what we're going to do is inside of that messages folder, since we just talked about how important messages are, that's the first thing we're going to make. So we're going to right click, go to create, and then down to Forge Networking. And then there's a network message script here. So you just click on that guy and it'll bring up this wizard. I'll make it smaller because we don't need all that much space. So we have the message name, which we said we'll call chat. Now this is a class name, so you don't want to start with any numbers. You don't want to have spaces, and you just want letters, numbers, and underscore. So it already adds the suffix message to it whenever we generate it, and also the suffix message interpreter. So we don't need to add that. We're just going to call this one chat, and we are going to interpret this message on the server, and we are going to interpret this message on the client. So when we click create, we'll have now our message, and inside of our interpreters folder we'll have our interpreter. So let's open up those guys inside of our editor, and let's take a look. So here's our chat message. It was auto-generated. It automatically knew the next ID available was 6. It put that in there for us. It automatically knew we were going to have our message, our chat interpreter for our chat message. And so it set up the interpreter here for us. And now all we have to worry about is our deserialize and our serialize. And inside of the interpreter, it has set our valid on client to true, valid on server to true, because we checked both boxes, and it has a throw exception here because it needs to be implemented. So really there's only one thing to chat, and that's a message, like a string message. So we can make a public string text, and if we really wanted to be fancy, here let's make this a get set. If we really wanted to be fancy, we can add a string name as well, like who sent it, and we'll just be authoritative and say this is our name. So to deserialize, this would happen on the receiver of the chat message. We need to get the name in the text. So name is going to be equal to Forge serialization strategy instance deserialize string from the buffer, and we're going to do the same thing for text. So we deserialize the name and then the text. So that means we need to serialize in the same order. We need to serialize first the name and then the text. So we're going to do the Forge serialization strategy instance serialize, and we're going to serialize the name, and then we're going to serialize the text. Now we don't have to do string here because new C# stuff knows that it's a string because of the input argument, so we can just leave that out. Now this just returns a byte array. If you look at it, it just returns a byte array, so we need those bytes to go inside the buffer. So the easiest way to do that is just do buffer.append and then pass in that serialization here, buffer.append. There we go. So now we have serialized our message and deserialized our message. So when we send a message, this happens. We receive a message, this happens. And like I said, it's important that we have our name and text in the same order on both of these. So first we did the name, first we pulled the name, then we did the text, next we pulled the text. So that's how that works. And then we need to set up the interpreter, what happens on the interpreter. We have special logic for what happens on the server because the server needs to distribute the message to everybody. And then we have special stuff that happens on the client. When we receive the message, we just display it. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Okay, back in Unity, we are going to set up our scene real quick. So let's create a folder called scenes. And we'll create just a new scenes file. New scene. We'll save this one as, is this the right folder? Unity assets, Forge networking, examples, chat, scenes, chat. And now that we have our scene, we can go back to the menu here. And inside of the Forge main, there is a scene to load here. We're going to just use chat. By the way, this Forge engine facade is the example facade that I said we're going to be using. So we're just going to set it to load chat. Ignore the prefab manager. We're not going to deal with that right now. So with that, you have your chat scene set up, and you've changed it to point to it whenever we load up for the multiplayer connection. So from here, we're just going to set up the UI. Okay, so I've set up this chat window with just a canvas that has a panel in it. It has a scroll view, an input field, which is the text box, a button, which is the bottom right there. And inside of the scroll view, I'm going to have a layout so that if I create more texts, they just kind of show up like that. Very standard stuff. I think the only thing that I need to do is add a prefabs folder in here and drop my text in here. We're doing this very rudimentary, not super Unity like well designed here. We're just trying to get something showing up and working. So now that I've added that, I can just delete that and have our text prefab here that we can spawn and shove inside of there as many times as we want to get the messages flowing. So that's going to be the basic setup for our chat window. Okay, so now we're going to create some pretty awful but straightforward and quick and dirty scripts for the send button and getting it to send that message for the network. So I'm going to call this chat, or we'll call this send button. That works. Nice and simple. I'm going to code this out real quick. Okay, so I've created some nice quick and dirty brute force code. We have the input that will be where you type in the text. We have a set of random names here, which we're going to assign your name right on awake, so it's going to be random. We have a couple of helpers here to get our engine, our socket, and determine if we are a server. So what we're going to do is attach this script to the send button, and when we click the button, it's going to call this send function, which is going to get the text, make sure it's not empty. We're going to go through and we're going to send the message on the network if it's not empty. So we're going to create our chat message. So remember, this is the chat message we created recently. And we're going to assign the name and the text. If we are the server, we're going to send as a message as server. If we're the client, we're going to send it as client. And to send as the server or client, we're just going to call the engine network mediator, and we're going to call send reliable message. We want it to be reliable because it's a message that we want to make sure that is received on the other end. So we have the client version and the server version of that. The server will send to all clients, and the client will just send only to the server. You can see that the engine, we just find the game object floating around inside of the scene. That is the Forge engine facade, and that's going to be our engine. So it's a little dirty, but whatever. It's gonna work for our purposes. So over in Unity, we're going to find our button here, and we're going to add our send button script to it. There we go. And so we have our send button script, and then on a click we want to make it send to itself a call to send button send. So we're going to just call the send function whenever we click on it. And that is basically what we need to have set up for that. So now we have the message being created and sent. We need to deal with the message being received and what we do when we receive that message. Now we're not going to get too fancy with this because fancy sometimes takes time. So we're just going to create a script here called chat listener is going to be our script, and we're going to put that onto the content of our scroll view here, where we're going to spawn the text. So let's open that guy up, and we're going to code it so that this will have a reference to the prefab to spawn, and it will get the message. It'll have a function for just if a string's passed in, it'll spawn that guy. So let me write that out real quick. Okay, So we just have our serialized prefab here, which is where we're going to spawn, and we have a public function print message with a name and a message text. So we spawn the prefab and then we assign the text to the name and the message text. While I was doing this, I realized that I probably needed to, instead of our send button, change this to an input field, but that's just semantics. Those of you who know Unity UI probably already saw that. So now that we have this set up, we're going to set it up inside of Unity. So over here, we have already added our chat listener to the content. So we need to go to our prefab and add our text that we're going to spawn into there is the text prefab. And that's the one that's going to spawn whenever we call that message. Okay, so let's head back over into our chat interpreter. And inside of our chat interpreter, we have not set up what's going to happen in here. This is when we receive a message. If we are the server, we need to delegate that message to everybody but the sender. And if we are the sender receiving this message, all we have to do is go and call that function to display it. And of course, we probably want to call and display that message on the server as well. So I'm going to write out that code real quick. Okay, so we have it all written out here. What we're doing is we're just going to cast the message as we talked about before. This is a one-to-one relationship, so we know that it is a chat message. So we're going to grab that message. We're going to find, like I said, quick and dirty, we're going to do a find object of type using the chat listener that we created. We're just going to find it. And then we're going to call print message, which is a function we made. The first argument is the name. The second argument is the message text. And then if we are the server, this is just a function I made here to check if we're a server. If we are the server, then we're going to send message to other clients. And of course, we're going to want to exclude the sender. We don't want to send the sender the message they sent. So let's go down here and look at what that does. Now notice I don't just send to all like we did previously inside of the send button. Let me show you as a refresher. Here we just said send reliable and we send it to all because we didn't say who to send it to here. What we do is we go into the player repository, which is part of the network mediator. We can go into the player repository in other videos, and we're just getting the enumerator. We're just getting all of the players so that we can iterate through them. We iterate through each one, and if that player is not the sender, we then send the message from this server to that player. If they are the player, this gets skipped, obviously. So that's basically all that we need to do, as far as I know, off the top of my head, for this chat to work. And so let's see it work. Okay, before we start building, I'm going to have a couple of amendments. One is if we send a message, we probably want to display it on our side as well. So we're just going to grab that chat listener and print the message that we are sending. This is because when we send it to the server doesn't send it back to us, so we wouldn't see it otherwise. The next one is I changed the if server line to the correct way to check for the server. There's going to be a better way in the future, hopefully soon, but right now you can check the socket facade against the iSocket server facade, and that'll tell you whether you are on the server. So I had to change that here as well as inside of here for the is server check inside of the interpreter. Now with that, there's one more cleanup thing we have to do. Inside of the chat scene, make sure that we have on the button, inside of our inspector, we have the message input field, this guy, inside of there. Next, inside of our project settings, let's make sure we have under resolution presentation, run background on. With all of that, we are now ready to build out this chat and see it working. So let's just double check a couple of things. Forge main has chat as the scene to load, and inside of our build settings we have chat as a scene. I unchecked the cube one because we're not going to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and build this, start it up, and we'll see to make sure it's working. Okay, now that I have it started up, what we're going to do is we're going to host inside of the editor here, and we're going to join inside of the build instance here. So this is the client and this is the server. We're going to say hello world. We're going to send that, and you'll see it comes across on the server. My random name on this guy was chosen as Bob, so let's go here. Hi, Bob. And we're going to send that and check it out on the client. And there we are. Our name is Thomas. I didn't make this erase so I can spam it, but whatever. So there we go. A simple setup for a chat system using Forge Networking Alloy. Just a demonstration of how messages are created and used, how the message interpreters receive messages and can do processing, and all of that sort of stuff. We're going to go deeper into the other details we kind of touched upon, such as the network mediator, the socket server facades, the prefab manager, all that extra stuff. But this is kind of a start to show you the angle that Forge Alloy is taking. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or on Discord. The Discord server is going to be where we have a lot of our community conversation about this. And this is also all up on GitHub inside of its own branch called Alloy on the Forge Networking repository if you want to grab it and try it out and test it and give me some feedback. So until next time, thanks for watching.